Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my review of the LEGO Indiana Jones set 77015 Temple of the Golden Idol. Is this a perfect LEGO set? That is what you and I will find out today. This video contains both objective and subjective information about this set, along with my own personal thoughts at the end of the video. Let's get into it. I absolutely love this box. It's clearly the 18+ display kind of design, which always looks very clean and professional. In the corner it says Raiders of the Lost Ark, the movie this is based on, and on the back we get some extra details about what this set has to offer. Let's not waste any time and see what's inside. We get 15 plastic bags split up into 10 numbered bag steps, so to speak. A protective cover with inside a lovely looking sticker sheet and the instruction manual that has a lovely movie poster on the front. I can get used to that. And finally a tiny little folder. Let's go and put this together, shall we? Before getting into the fun stuff, first some objective information about this set. 77015, the Temple of the Golden Idol, is an 18+ diorama-style LEGO set based on the first Indiana Jones movie from 1981. It comes with a total of 1,545 LEGO pieces and retails for $150 US, the same in euros, and 129 British pounds. This gives you a value of about 10 cents per brick, which is about average. It weighs 2,260 grams, meaning you're paying about 7 cents per gram of LEGO, and that doesn't seem that bad at all. 4 brand new and exclusive minifigures are included, and the spare parts are shown on screen. Some special pieces you're getting are obviously the Golden Idol, but also spiders with a spider web, little plants, a sack piece, cool looking spikes, and these lovely printed tiles. Here's a quick look at what the bags build specifically, and well, that seems pretty much all there is to say as far as the objective information goes. This set is based on the classic Indiana Jones movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, and specifically the opening scene. Indiana Jones and Satipo enter an old temple in order to retrieve an ancient artifact known as the Golden Idol. On the way, they face many dangers such as spooky creatures, booby traps, and giant boulders. It is really just the most iconic Indiana Jones scene, so it makes sense for LEGO to have made this beautiful model. After checking out the included minifigures, we'll go into detail of how they were able to capture this scene so well. Our first minifigure is the Hovitos warrior, and I gotta say, this really is accurate to what he's supposed to look like. On top of that, his printing looks fantastic. The shadow under his eyes gives it some nice depth, and overall the print just goes well with the skin color, which is spot on. The hairpiece as well is just perfect for this character. The details on his torso match as well with the necklace type thing, the white and red markings, and even the leg printing, it's all there. He has 2 different faces, one neutral and the other ready to mess someone up badly. He comes with a bow piece, which you could have expected. Honestly, this is a 10 out of 10 figure for me. I don't see how this could have been done any better. Next, there is Belloq, the bad guy at the end of the scene. I'm not gonna lie, I personally don't really think he captures his essence. It seems a rather generic face, maybe that's just it. We're also getting what I think is minimal printing, no arm or leg printing, no second face, and quite a simple torso print. I do really like the sweaty details on there, I think that's a great and quite clever idea. But this hat piece would kill me if I'd be playing around with it. It looks fine, but it constantly keeps falling off, same with Henry Jones actually. There are 4 connection points rather than all around, so the clutching power is just not as good as other headpieces. I display my sets though, so I don't really mind that, just something to keep in mind. Not my favorite, but it does the job well enough, I suppose. Then our boy Indy, yet another version of him, because unlike the other 2, he has a grin instead of a full smile, and his second face is covered with spider webs. This is a little nudge, of course, to the cobwebs he runs into towards the end of the scene. His torso is the same as the figure from the Escape from the Lost Tomb set, so it's really just a face that makes him different. He very decently represents the source material, all the important details are pretty much in place. For newcomers, he uses the new hat piece including hair, and his whip is nice and flexible, and if you destroy one for some weird reason, there's always a spare one included. If you watched my other 2 Indiana Jones reviews, you know I really like the new look he has, and especially this one with the cobweb face. Finally, we have Satipo, Indy's companion for this little journey. His outfit and face are spot on, I think the details match very well, and the vibe is just right. Kinda dirty, not that well taken care of, if you get the idea. His bag is covered with spiders as well, very nice touch for sure. His hair though I don't think was a great choice. In the scene it seems a lot shorter, especially compared to the first figure we looked at, it just doesn't really feel right. Honestly, I don't know what the best option would have been though. His second face is a very scared face, which makes sense in this case to have. And lastly, he comes with his torch as well. Then there is a little bonus minifigure, a skeleton, but really there isn't much to say about him, is there? And those are the minifigures you're getting. First, I'm going with you on a little journey through this LEGO set, after which we'll go into the building experience, design and how the features work. Now, our characters find themselves in Peru, deep into the jungle at the entrance of an ancient temple. They enter and reach a dark area covered with spider webs. The ceiling and walls are filled with dripstone rock formations. Satipo notices a spider on Indy's shoulder, and once Indy checks his, well, he's covered with them. They slowly progress until Indy warns Satipo to stay out of the light. Once Jones checks, a long dead corpse emerges from the wall. They continue and come across a giant shaft in the ground. Both guys use Indy's whip to get across. And right after passing a strange golden wheel artifact, Indy turns his head and witnesses that very thing they came here for, the golden idol. However, the danger hasn't passed just yet. Jones finds out that the shaped tiles on the floor activate deadly dart booby traps, coming from the face statues on the wall. He manages to get up there and comes face to face with the idol. Suspecting a trap is laid here as well, he grabs a sack of sand and uses it to even out the weight from the idol. All seems fine until... the whole temple starts to collapse. Indy has to make a run for it as he's being shot at by the booby traps. When he arrives at the shafts, Satipo says, "Throw me the idol." Indy does, and well, is betrayed. Indy, being Indy, he manages to get across anyway, but it's a close call. A stone door is closing right in front of him. Jones only just escapes. This is where he finds out that Satipo didn't quite make it. All seems okay for just a little bit, but then out of nowhere, a giant stone boulder comes rolling down towards Indy. Well, as you can tell, this set has it all. Let's get into this a little more closely. At first glance, as a whole, the first thing I thought was, wow, it just looks gorgeous. This set is 52 centimeters wide and about 23 centimeters high. It's a decent size without being so ginormously large that it's impossible to display. It's really that sweet spot for me. The building experience, I gotta tell you, this was some of the most fun building I've had in years. There are so many little fun techniques involved, so many fun details to put together, like these patterns on the walls, the brick structures, the faces on the walls, and obviously the larger statues. There is a lot to love here. In total, I spent about 3 hours building this. This is an 18+ aimed set, and to be fair, I can see why building some of these mechanisms can be a tad complex for young children. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually messed up this bit at the back, so be careful there, I guess. It is of course no LEGO Technic set, but there are definitely some fun and more complex details in here. It is built up in 3 separate pieces that are connected to each other using connector pieces and bricks to increase the strength. And this makes for a very, very sturdy model. You can easily handle this with one hand, no problem there. As for the design, the display aspect of this is done quite nicely. We get the black tiled off kind of base with printed pieces on the sides, and even some skull details on there as well. The nods to activate the features also have nicely printed tiles on them, giving the whole thing a professional or prestigious look. The only thing I find a bit strange is the quotes. They look fine and it's a nice addition to a display set like this, but unlike the Star Wars dioramas, these are stickers. It would have been nice to see these as prints, especially for the premium price you're paying. It's a small detail that some people will and others won't care about, so it's important to mention still. Now going from left to right, we begin with the entrance. It is nicely covered with plants and vegetation. On the side we can see the first kind of skull statue, and moving further is the first section. There are some spiders crawling on the ground, and in the front we've got some dripstone rocks. In the back there's a skeleton that we've seen earlier and that can rotate outward. along with a little spot for Satipo to sit, being, well, messed up by the spikes. On top, there's a spider web and most importantly, the giant boulder. To have it roll down, simply spin the knot down here counterclockwise and there it goes. The action is quite smooth also for going back up, and really it works as well as you expect. The mechanism is relatively simple. The little black gear piece makes sure it spins really fast. From straight ahead though, you can see some Technic pieces through the cracks, but the mechanism of course needs that space to be open in order for it to work, so I have to excuse this minor visual flaw. I am not a mega fan of this piece here though, it's just too clean to me, and I think it would have looked a bit better if it's more brick built, like this for example. It would just merge in a tad better, in my opinion. If we continue, we have this lovely looking statue on top, and this has to be my favorite one. It looks so detailed. They're just such clever building techniques. In front of that is another one similar to the one at the entrance, and everything is of course nicely covered with vegetation. The next area has tree roots all over it, which is accurate to the scene. I quite like the look of them and it goes well with the seaweed type pieces. The wall in the back is neatly tiled off and the shaft in the ground is made using black smooth plates. And I can't help but wonder why they didn't make this a tad lower, for you can see at the bottom here, there is more room there. It is probably for stability though, so oh well. Using the knot on the left here, you can open and close the stone gate. It has a pretty sweet sticker on it, which again, as far as we can see, is accurate to the movie. The action for going up and down isn't super smooth, it's not linear, but it does work decently enough. Using the second knot right here, you can have Indy and Satipo swing over the shaft. It looks kinda weird if you use the actual whip piece, which is why they added this stick piece for them to hold onto. Looks a lot better for sure. Once again, a very simple mechanism and it works properly. If we move a little bit to the right, we have this circular artifact kind of thing. I can see why they used this wheel and there's probably no alternative as of yet, but it doesn't look very similar. The wooden frame is nice though, and the overall shape does a well enough job to recognize what it's supposed to be. I'm just not so sure about it. Above it, we have this pattern with teal and sand green triangles. This detail isn't actually present in the movie and is therefore a creative liberty LEGO took to add some more color to it, I guess. In fact, there's zero teal coloring present in the scene. The idea of adding things that don't exist is a bit odd, I guess, but I can totally see why they did it because boy, it does make it look a lot better. It is more tropical or something. I like it a lot. If we continue, we enter the final room where the golden idol is found. This is by far my favorite part of the set. It's colorful, it's incredibly detailed and simply the most iconic. On the walls, there's the various different faces we see during the scene. This was my favorite part to build also, because these are just so fun looking. The stickered tiles fit pretty well and do add some variety. Some look very close to the real thing. And we even have a little Lego Easter egg there. On the ground, we have the tiles that activate the booby traps in the scene. Their diagonal placement actually is a nice touch, I think. But then the elephant in the room, the golden idol. What a lovely Lego piece. It's fantastic to me. If we look above, we've got the large face statue, which just looks stellar, and some more faces and plants all over the top of this section. The interactive feature here is what really makes this special though. If you slowly turn this knot, a light brick turns on right above. As you continue to spin the knot, the little platform descends, and if you spin it all the way, this guy here comes crashing down. I think it's quite incredible how they were able to put all these into one action. There is quite some friction on the first turn, but it does work really well. On the back, you can kind of see how it works, quite ingenious. I think they really nailed this. Sadly though, there's no way to keep the light turned on, other than trying to get it stuck halfway there, which is possible. But then also, you don't want to kill the batteries that fast anyway, so it doesn't seem like too big of a problem. The backside as a whole looks absolutely horrendous, but if anyone dares to complain about that, I will personally come to your place and shove it up your ass. This is a display set above all else, so unless you're doing something very, very wrong, you aren't gonna see the back one bit. Seeing it on a shelf for $150, you're getting a lot, I feel like. It's still a pretty hefty price for a toy, but if you compare it to an ATTE, for example, which is only $10 cheaper, it is really quite big, I think. It seems worth more. And that comes from a massive Star Wars fan above all else. Guys, What a blast. This is simply a blast. I don't want to say this is my favorite set of all time because there is a bunch of really cool sets, but it's close. And it has it all. It has the fun building, the amazing design, the play features. It's fantastic.
Pros and cons.
Obviously, it is just well thought through. The attention to detail is fantastic and it represents the original scene really, really well. Secondly, the quality of the build is strong, sturdy, and just rather compact given its footprint and amount of pieces. And it's the perfect mix of display and play. It looks fantastic, got all the nostalgia you need, but at the same time has plenty to offer when it comes to fun features. Now for the cons, honestly, I struggle to find any objectively bad things about this set. I have some nitpicks, like the quote stickers, this piece right here, and maybe the blandness of the shaft being just plates, but none of those are actually deal breakers or problems. So basically, I mean, no, this set is not perfect, but man, it's close. It is really close. I simply love it. If you didn't notice already, yes, it is $150, but if you have the money to spend, this is a good thing to spend it on. If you liked this review video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell not to miss a single future upload, and then I hope I'll see you in the next video.